We have more access to global conflicts than any generation before us. We can watch missile strikes and border protests live from our living rooms. Yet our actual comprehension of the world keeps shrinking. This constant stream of crisis triggers a deep physical anxiety. You stare at the screen, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of chaos, and eventually the brain shuts down, leaving you feeling entirely paralyzed. We tend to think of ourselves as passive observers, scrolling through a neutral window to the outside world. The reality is that the window is watching back, actively managing our emotional responses. We are caught in a cycle of voluntary servitude. It is an ancient psychological mechanism of control, but today it operates on precision data engineering. That exhaustion you feel when reading the news is the exact intended output of a system designed to convert human survival instincts into digital engagement. The cycle starts with a trigger. Modern platforms do not show you an objective reality. They dissect global events and tailor the framing specifically to match your pre-existing tribal anxieties. Take the conflict in Eastern Europe. If the system knows you lean a certain way, it will feed you a steady stream of external aggression, showing you a resurgent, expansionist threat pressing inward. Meanwhile, a user with a different profile receives the opposite frame. Their feed is saturated with images of Western military alliances, framing the issue as aggressive imperialism pushing against a sovereign border. The same logic applies to migration. One person's feed tells a story of humanitarian collapse, while another's warns of a hostile invasion. Both narratives trap the brain in a state of survival mode. Once you are terrified, you reach stage 2, the demand for a fix. A frightened mind naturally creates simple, authoritarian solutions, like a powerful leader, strict digital censorship, or entirely closed borders. We demand someone else handle the chaos. By cheering for rigid crackdowns and sharing alarmist posts, we trade away our moral responsibility for the cognitive comfort of feeling protected. To keep up the illusion of this protection, the system must show results. And in a fear-based economy, results always look like punishment directed at the designated enemy. This is where digital dehumanization takes over. We watch severe civil rights abuses or wartime casualties, but the platform strips away the human context, reducing people to a trending hashtag or an engagement metric. When the victims are just statistics on a screen, empathy evaporates. We look at entire city blocks leveled to rubble and dismiss the destruction as acceptable collateral damage. But the cruelest part of the design is that safety never actually arrives. The minute a rival is silenced or a wall is built, the algorithm detects a drop in engagement. It immediately serves up a brand new existential threat to keep you clicking. The machine runs on panic. It manufactures and amplifies crises continuously because our automatic, unthinking reactions are the only fuel that keeps it alive. Algorithms are masters of the immediate. They excel at mapping high-velocity reactions like anger or fear because those produce clear binary data points, a like, a share, or an angry comment. The system struggles with latency, the intentional slowing down of a human mind. When you stop to think, you stop producing the predictable, binary signals the code needs to categorize you. This creates a massive, unfixable blind spot in the architecture of control. You break the cycle with a pause. When you see an image designed to provoke an immediate reflex, stop. Ask yourself what is outside the frame, and who actually profits from your immediate anger. The simple act of taking a mental pause breaks the algorithmic momentum. You shift from a programmable reflex to an independent, conscious choice. Reclaiming your autonomy requires a rigorous mental exercise, active empathy. You must force yourself to imagine the daily life, the family, and the specific fears of the person the algorithm has designated as your enemy. This means looking past political labels and rigid borders to recognize that the person on the other side is navigating the same basic human struggles you are. This creates a liberating sequence. You pause, you think critically, you empathize, you refuse the push to dehumanize others, and finally, you achieve freedom. True freedom is a habit. It is the quiet, daily defiance of choosing to stay fully human and refusing to be an automatic node in a machine built on fear.
Angel with amnesia. Remember your essence.